You're checking out the longest running online radio show on the iPower Evening Show. DeMarco J on Pretty Ricky and Stefan Mason.
It's time now for the Clown Donkey Hall of Shame.
What kind of fool am I?
Somebody done act a fool. Somebody done put their foot in their mouth.
The bottom line is, I think you're a complete jackass.
Worse than a female.
Now say some more. I'll knock your ass right back down, fake ass wanna be preaching, no members having mother.
Time for that induction ceremony.
Me, just plain me. I might as well be working for white folks.
iPower Evening Show.
Turn my microphone on, goddammit.
It's on.
This week's Clown Donkey Hall of Shame for December, Friday the 13th, 2019, goes out to 27-year-old Jaquan Whittle of Brooklyn. And what better timing to give this bad luck the credit that he deserves on this Friday the 13th? You might as well be Jason after what he did. Yep, that's right. I'm pretty sure those out there heard about this story in New York all the way back in September, but the wounds are still fresh in other people's minds. And for the people who didn't know what happened, well, sit back, because I'm about to tell you why Jaquan Whittle is getting this Batman's Joker and a hee-haw for his bad choices that will for sure get him prison time. Now, we all thought that this thing called the knockout game was left back in 2013, right? Comes to find out 5 years later, here in 2019, that this foolish, senseless game is still around, ladies and gentlemen. Now, for those who don't know what I'm talking about and need to refresh their memories before I give y'all today's story and what this coward did, let's go to CBS This Morning from 2013 for the report.
The victims of this brutal game are chosen at random. Defenseless and unsuspecting people are attacked by groups of teens who have one goal in mind: to knock the victim out with one punch.
Beat the one-hitter quitter!
One-hitter quitter. Knock 'em and drop 'em. Point 'em out and knock 'em out. All names for a disturbing trend now drawing concern nationwide.
Whoever comes walking down the block or something, they just knock them out.
In Pittsburgh, this teacher was punched so hard he collapsed headfirst into the concrete curb. This man in Brooklyn was also knocked unconscious. And even women are being attacked. There have been 7 recent cases in New York City alone, and the game has turned fatal in at least 4 documented attacks. Syracuse, St. Louis, Chicago, and Hoboken, New Jersey, the site of the latest fatal attack. These boys, seen in video from a security camera after the incident, have been charged with the murder. They are just 13 and 14 years old.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm talking about. The knockout game. And I think we did an Express Your Mind topic on this, DeMarco, back in that same year, 2013. Or was it 2014?
It was one of those years.
We did a story on that.
Right.
And it seems that it has simmered down a little bit, knowing that these random victims who were receiving sucker punches from out of nowhere, as these teens and grown-ass adults think that this is funny to walk up on the person from behind and clock them out cold would turn fatal. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, a 17-year-old boy was attempting to knock out his victim till this ridiculous knockout game backfired on this young suspect who was shot and wounded by the supposed victim. Man, karma is such a bitch. But he later survived and is now thinking about it while dealing with the consequences behind bars. Knowing what he did was stupid. Now, you would think this would be a wake-up call for people out there who want to try this kind of crap on innocent people, right?
No.
No.
Not really.
Because it's obviously these dumbasses out here don't think that they will never get caught for doing a stupid thing like knocking out an innocent person caught on camera of the crime that you committed. Well, there is a thing in 2019 called Big Brother.
That's right.
And let me tell y'all dumbass niggas out there who are committing these dumbass crimes or thinking about committing one of these dumbass crimes out there in these streets and thinking your dumbass ain't gonna get caught with your dumbass. Because eventually, your dumbass sooner or later will get caught, dumbass. And speaking of dumbasses, regarding this 27-year-old dumbass suspect did, let's go to CBS 2 New York for the report.
71-year-old woman sucker punched in Brooklyn. The NYPD arrested 27-year-old Jaquan Whittle and has now charged him with felony assault. Police say Whittle is the man seen on surveillance video slugging Joan Baptiste in the head and knocking her unconscious. Baptiste's jaw is still swollen and bruised 2 weeks after the attack in Prospect Lefferts Gardens. She says that when she woke up in the hospital, she had thought she had a bad fall until police showed her this disturbing video.
When I went to the hospital, I did surgery and I had cuts inside my mouth. I got 5 stitches. It could have been worse. I could have been died.
Police say Whittle was on probation for a previous crime.
Lord Jesus. I mean, have y'all Negroes learned from these past knockout games that's been taking place here in New York City? Huh? Have y'all Negroes learned anything from this?
No.
I mean, this is somebody's grandmother.
Hello.
This is a 71-year-old grandmother who has been on God's green earth long before any of y'all dumbass niggas was born. And whatever happened to respecting your elders? Well, looks like that don't mean a goddamn thing no more to these young badass teens and grown-ass adults out here acting like teens, thinking they can just walk up in their grandmama's house and talk to her any old way, and not expecting to take such an ass whooping you should have gotten a long time ago. See, that's what needs to come back. And I'm talking about corporal punishment, by tearing that ass up, receiving that backhand slap from your grandmama. Because believe me, the back slap from your mama or grandmama was worse than the front slap from your father or grandfather. I got both of them slaps, front and back. Now, if my mother back then found out I knocked out somebody randomly from off the street back then, Lord Jesus, my mama would have knocked me into next year. Not next week, not next month, next year. My mama would have laid my black ass out on that kitchen floor. But hey, God knows I deserve that. And look how I turned out to be. But unfortunately, this poor defensive 71-year-old lady who was randomly knocked out for no apparent reason. I mean, what is up with some of y'all Negroes knocking out the elderly of your own black people? Or any elderly person for that matter, regardless of race. And I don't expect nobody randomly to get knocked out by anyone, but right here is ridiculous. And this young man could be facing up to 10 to 15 years behind bars. All for what? For participating in a knockout game that we all thought was vanished off these streets in major cities across the country like here in NYC? It's obviously these cowards not only have no respect for our elderly, for our black women over 65, but some of y'all cats out there don't even got respect for themselves and don't give an F if you hurt yourself or these victims you hurt. Now, this 27-year-old man may not care if he goes to jail and serve time for a senseless knockout game that could have taken an innocent life, but he's gonna care when he's out there in the general public inside prison when Big Daddy knocks your dumb ass out for knocking out an elderly that could have been somebody's teacher, somebody's mentor, somebody's librarian from back in elementary school, or somebody's mama you done mess with. Hey, karma's everywhere, including where your dumb ass is going. And thinking about what you have done wrong, landing yourself in a cell block, sharing a cell with Big Daddy, and asking yourself, why? Please induct 27-year-old Jaquan Whittle into the Clown Donkey Hall of Shame.
Thanks, Ricky, on your Clown Donkey Hall of Shame. You broke it down. I mean, why are the elderly, especially black elders, being assaulted by our young black teenagers? I mean, they think that they might not be old someday once they reach a certain age.
You said it right there, DeMarco. Might.
Yeah, right.
They might see that age when they start to grow old.
Right.
But let's see how they like it, being pummeled and getting knocked out on the ground at that age.
Exactly.
I mean, this is somebody's grandmama you done assaulted.
And I don't know if y'all saw this in the news recently, where these 2 black teens was going after this elderly man in Queens. I think he's like 70 years old. He was this Haitian elderly getting attacked by these 2 little who thought it was funny to beat up old people. I mean, what do y'all get out of that? What is your accomplished for doing something like that?
Plus, not to mention, this 69-year-old man randomly was attacked inside the elevator by this young man in the Bronx for no apparent reason. Thank God he was arrested. But hey, it's New York. What do you expect?
I know,
but still,
right?
Going after the elderly is wrong in my opinion.
It is.
Because they could outlive you. And it has happened.
Yes, it has.
All right, thanks for that Clown Donkey, Ricky.